Arsenal are prepared to bid at £70 million for Benjamin Sesko, and Rodrygo is the priority signing for that left wing position. We've got a big update from Florian Plettenberg suggesting going into next week as well, the talks will accelerate. There's already a meeting placed with the hierarchy of Arsenal and Sesko's representatives and the RB Leipzig director of football. There is also reports coming out that personal terms have been agreed. Sesko wants the move. And when, of course, we know from Fabrizio Romano and Plettenberg that RB Leipzig have to sell one of their stars to raise money for upcoming transfers. It's a massive update. Make sure you go down, smash that like button to pieces, first of all. Let me know your thoughts. Hit that subscribe button. We're closing in on 60,000 subscribers. The road to 100K is well and truly on. If you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button. Get down to the second channel. It will be pinned in the comments. And it'll be the first. As soon as you go to write your comment, you'll see the second channel is pinned. Get over and subscribe to that. A Manchester United video will be on there later regarding Gyökeres, because Arsenal have directed all of their attention to Benjamin Sesko. Fabrizio Romano has said on his YouTube channel that talks are not advancing and Benjamin Sesko is the guy. Now, depending on how you value Fabrizio Romano, I think when it comes to transfers, he's pretty much the go-to guy. He thinks right now, what he's been told from inside information, that Fabrizio Romano has said Gyökeres and Arsenal probably won't happen. The more likely destination at the moment is Manchester United if they can raise the funds. Florian Plettenberg has said the feeling, and bearing in mind, this guy, when it comes to Arsenal news, when it comes to German news, is very reliable. The feeling around a possible deal between Benjamin Sesko and Arsenal remains very positive. There's no full agreement between the two clubs yet, although there is reports that there is a verbal agreement between Arsenal and Sesko, and he has apparently agreed personal terms. The next round of talks is already scheduled. I think they were saying early next week, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. Mikel Arteta is keen on the 22-year-old top striker. Leipzig are waiting for an official offer. Price tag is around 80 to 100 million euros. There's reports of a 70 million pound bid. And Arsenal right now are really pushing for the move for Benjamin Sesko. Now, AFC staff have said that Florian Plettenberg has done an interview, and it says the following: RB Leipzig are expecting their first offer from Arsenal next week. The clubs have to find an agreement between 80 to 100 million. I am totally convinced that Sesko will play for Arsenal next season. That is what he said on Sky Sports News. That is a massive, massive tweet that. He honestly is totally convinced that Sesko will be an Arsenal player going into next season. Now, he is, without a doubt, the most reliable journalist when it comes to Bundesliga news. Now, for me, there's been plenty of reports coming around that Sesko wants the move, and he has agreed personal terms. Now, Fabrizio Romano also said this. AFC staff have tweeted this out, that Arsenal are focused on Benjamin Sesko, discussing and advancing for Sesko. The other name on the list is Victor Gyökeres. Now, I've got a video coming out on the second channel regarding that. At the moment, the situation is not developing. Wow. So they are theoretically out of the race for Victor Gyökeres. It looks like, as of right now, Manchester United are the team going in for Gyökeres. Al Hilal have also been heavily linked, according to a few sources. David Ornstein has said on the Athletic podcast that Arsenal are focusing on a number 9, where it's going to be Sesko or Gyökeres. They also want a top quality wide player, which we'll get onto shortly. Ideally on the left-hand side. They would like some backup for Saka, and that's why they targeted Buemo. Now, they are still linked with Buemo. He hasn't signed for Manchester United just yet. That is his preferred destination. But, you know, Arsenal and Spurs are still in the race. If they offer the right money, Brentford might just have to, persuade Buemo to sign for them. In midfield, they need to renew Thomas Partey or let him go. And if he goes, they're going to have to replace him. They would like a centre-half They were in for Dean Huijsen, didn't manage to get him. Obviously, he signed for Real Madrid. So watch the space on that. And that was coming out of the Athletic podcast. So you got David Ornstein, Fabrizio Romano, and Florian Plettenberg all saying right now that Arsenal will go in for Benjamin Sesko. There's also been an update regarding contracts. Now, we know that Gabriel got one the other day, a new contract extension. Bukayo Saka and William Saliba have both held positive dialogue with Arsenal over fresh terms and want to stay at the club. Arsenal are relaxed about the process, while there's an understanding of negotiations can take time. They maintain confidence agreements will be struck. Ethan Nwaneri and Miles Lewis-Skelly are also on the line for new deals, which will include lucrative pay rises. The current contracts are due to both expire next summer of 2026, but there is optimism agreements for both players now in sight. So not only are Arsenal pinning down their one of their best players in Gabriel, they're trying to pin down two young players, two academy graduates. It looks like as of right now that Arsenal are going in the right direction. Now, Ryan Taylor has also said that Leandro Trossard will be, let me just make sure I read this correctly. Don't misrepresent him. Leandro Trossard remains in the line to extend his Arsenal contract. That's a weird one for me because this left wing position, we've seen the other day that Rodrygo is the priority signing, and we've seen a few days ago that Rodrygo is heavily linked with Arsenal. Now, we've also seen that he apparently, according to Madrid Extra, wants to leave Real Madrid. Now, he's focused right now on the Club World Cup with Real Madrid. But I honestly think that it would not surprise me if Arsenal go in and break the bank for a Rodrygo. I saw this tweet earlier, and I think this potentially could happen. These could be the three Arsenal signings. Martin Zubimendi, who we know we've already had a here we go. Rodrygo on the left wing and Benjamin Sesko up front. You're looking at £190 million for the three of them. I think personally, Rodrygo may be more £85 million, 100 million euros, but the other two are very, 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 very likely. Zubimendi's already got a here we go, and Sesko, according to Florian Plettenberg, he will be astonished that he would not be an Arsenal player next season. Now, if you put a potential lineup together of Saka, Sesko, Rodrygo, a midfield of Odegaard, Zubimendi, and Rice, and the back four of Lewis Skelly, Timber, Saliba, and Gabriel, with David Raya in net, that is more than capable of going out there and winning Premier League titles. Now, according to Rodrygo, which is a transfer journalist, Arsenal are looking at the Rodrygo deal. It's down to Rodrygo as a player. He's obviously likes playing in Real Madrid, but he wants to be the main man. According to Madrid Zone, this tweet come out that Arsenal are willing to make a big financial offer if Rodrygo is placed on the market. Now, that right there is absolutely insane. If he's placed on the market, if they go, do you know what, we are going to sell him, I think Arsenal will be the destination. I don't think, at 24 years of age, I don't think he'll be going to Saudi. That's what I honestly believe. And to look at it right now, I think if they bring in Rodrygo, that is going to be absolutely insane, that front line. Gyökeres, it looks like Manchester United are the team in for him at the moment. So it's going to be a very, very interesting few days in the transfer window going into next week. If they get, Sesko, Rodrygo, Zubimendi, and maybe a centre half, they're going to be a problem. There's still a lot of questions asked. Can they get over the line? But they're putting themselves in the right direction right now to get over the line. It's going to be a fascinating few days in the transfer window. Make sure you go over, subscribe to the second channel, drop a like while you're here, Hit that subscribe button too. We're at the road to 60K as well and truly on. And I will see you in the next one. I am out.